100 years ago, spiritual energy awakened, changing the world forever. Creatures evolved down two paths: raw physical power or elemental energy. Humanity adapted, creating new professions in this strange new era. Careers like spirit beast observers and analysts became wildly popular. In this world, even survival tips are just another online ad. But for a young man with white hair, none of this seems to matter. His small companion, however, is dealing with a more immediate crisis. The cat, Genius, dramatically complains about the heat to its owner, Lin Yuan. It climbs onto Lin Yuan's head, seeking a slightly higher, cooler altitude. Our boy is not impressed by this brilliant tactical maneuver. Genius, ever the problem solver, attempts to pry open the window for a breeze. But Lin Yuan's voice cuts through, reminding the cat about its medicine. The camera pulls back, revealing their humble apartment in a quiet corner of the city. We are formally introduced to Lin Yuan, the 18-year-old owner of a spiritual creature shop. But his life is a stark contrast to the world he lives in. Unable to sense spiritual energy since he was a child, he's an outcast in an age of power. He tends to a wilting jasmine lily, a creature as fragile as his own prospects. In a world obsessed with strength, this low-tier plant is considered utterly worthless. After all, no one has ever witnessed such a common creature evolve into something greater. Just then, a small bird named Sound arrives with his medicine, a personal pharmacy with wings. Lin Yuan reflects on his own weakness, a body so frail it nearly broke just from bonding with them. From the window, Genius wonders why the streets are so deserted. But a voice suddenly echoes from below, advertising fresh produce for sale. A young girl and her mother approach, the child holding a pristine calico cat. Seeing a customer, Genius puts on his best salesman act, offering a friendly wave. The calico cat, however, looks down on him, calling him leftover worn-out merchandise. Enraged, Genius challenges his foe to a duel of rock, paper, scissors to prove his worth. Lin Yuan calmly intervenes, pointing out the anatomical challenges of his cat's plan. Deciding to close the failing shop, he's met with a new demand from Genius: meat. The cat is convinced that braised pork is the key to unlocking its true intellectual power. As they walk, Sound tries to cheer up Genius with the cold comfort that at least he's cheap. Lin Yuan laments his weakness, only to be snapped out of it by a sudden urgent warning. A blunt armor pig charges from the bushes, a creature that should be miles away on a farm. But where Lin Yuan sees a deadly threat, Genius sees the dinner of a lifetime. He grabs his reckless companion, furious that the cat would risk everything for a meal. The pig roars with unusual aggression, a detail that doesn't escape Lin Yuan's notice. With no time to think, our boy can only run, his frail body already pushed to its limit. But in the chaos of the chase, his foot gives way and he stumbles. He hits the ground hard, instinctively shielding Genius with his own body. Seeing their master fall, his two tiny companions bravely stand between him and the beast. Even on the ground, Lin Yuan's only thought is for his companion's safety. But instead of darkness, he finds himself in a strange, empty void. A strange symbol appears in his eye as his consciousness drifts. Before him materializes a massive glowing copper ring. He recognizes it instantly, a ring he lost as a child, one that vanished into his body. The long-lost artifact now reappears, glowing with immense power. Golden energy floods his senses, returning the spiritual power he lost a decade ago. With newfound strength, Lin Yuan pushes himself up from the ground. Genius cries out in relief as his master finally stirs. But the blunt armor pig is upon them, and even with his power returned, there's no time to act. With a surge of newfound power, Lin Yuan clenches his fist, the golden bracelet flaring to life. His eyes now blaze with golden energy, a smirk playing on his lips as he faces the beast. Suddenly, the pig's stats appear before him, revealing a level 3 threat his pets can't possibly match. Using his new insight, he yells a split-second warning for Genius to dodge an incoming attack. The cat narrowly avoids the charge, but Lin Yuan knows the power difference is still too great. Desperate, he channels his will into the bracelet, demanding more power for his loyal companion. In response, a brilliant golden aura erupts from Sound, who bravely flies to Genius's aid. Lin Yuan stares in shock, realizing the light enveloping his bird is identical to the bracelet's glow. He connects the dots, wondering if this artifact is actually causing his pets to evolve. The blunt armor pig lets out a furious roar, enraged by the sudden shift in power. Genius lets out a mighty roar, only to complain that the pig's is much louder. Lin Yuan quickly assesses the power gap, already searching for the beast's weakness. His companions panic, realizing the walking pork dinner is far too strong for them. Thinking fast, Lin Yuan orders Sound to create a diversion with its voice. The small bird unleashes a song so terrible it could probably shatter glass. Lin Yuan winces, thankful for the 400 sparring sessions that prepared him for this moment. The pig, utterly enraged by the sonic assault, turns its attention to the tiny bird. Realizing it's now the main target, Sound flees for its life as the pig gives chase. With the beast distracted, Lin Yuan commands his companion to turn and aim for its eyes. Filled with new resolve, the little bird ignites with power and dives in for the attack. But Sound's attack falters, its power suddenly gone. Lin Yuan collapses, his newly returned spiritual energy already depleted. He desperately channels the ring's power, pushing his body past its limits. A surge of energy flows into Sound, reigniting its strength. The bird unleashes a storm of glowing feathers, peppering the beast's hide. With the pig distracted, Lin Yuan spots an opening and calls for the final strike. Genius leaps into action, a blur of shadow and confidence. The target is set, the beast's one unprotected weak spot. With a flurry of claws, Genius proves that even dinner can have a sensitive nose. The cat lands gracefully as his opponent stumbles back, finally wounded. Genius, still reeling from the fight, asks if they've actually won. But their celebration is cut short as the pig charges back with a vengeance. Enraged and wounded, the beast barrels toward them for one final attack. Suddenly, a single foot stops the massive creature dead in its tracks. Two figures appear, having sensed the disturbance from afar. The man in the wheelchair wonders what a farm creature is doing in the city, but his companion's eyes lock onto a familiar detail on the beast. She recognizes one of Sound's feathers, realizing Lin Yuan is involved. She rushes off to find him, leaving her companion to handle the situation. With glowing red eyes, the old man prepares to end this fight himself. Looks like retirement is officially over. But as the fight rages outside, Lin Yuan's consciousness is pulled inward. He finds himself falling through a strange, ethereal space once again. He lands in the familiar void, demanding the ring share its power with him. The massive artifact responds, pulsing with a brilliant golden energy. He takes in his surroundings, realizing this is an internal space created by the ring. The ring then shrinks, appearing on his wrist as a simple bracelet. A status screen reveals its name, Mobius, and its skills, one of which he apparently trained by enduring Sound's singing. He's shocked to discover it has an exclusive trait, a feature unheard of for a normal-grade item. The details are complex. Mobius can only grow stronger by nurturing other creatures. And just like that, our boy realizes his new power-up runs on cash, and his wallet is completely empty. Lin Yuan tries to stay positive, figuring that sensing mental power is better than nothing. His consciousness returns to the real world, pulled back by a familiar, worried voice. He opens his eyes to find his two companions frantically trying to wake him. With a gentle smile, he calms them down, assuring them that he's perfectly fine. The scene reveals he's in a hospital bed, with his neighbor and a doctor watching over him. The woman, Auntie Zhang, scolds him with concern, reminding him he was unconscious for 10 hours. He agrees to the treatment, but internally decides to keep his new power a secret. The doctor summons a glowing carp, an elite-grade creature with a rare mental healing skill. After the treatment is complete, the doctor prepares to head home for the evening. Just then, a small, rabbit-like creature appears, announcing that dinner is ready. Auntie Zhang offers him a meal, a special recipe from her husband to help him recover. He graciously accepts, while Genius's eyes lock onto the prize, braised pork. As she holds the small creature, she remarks that it's always been a bit unusual for its species. But when Lin Yuan looks, his new power reveals a screen of nothing but question marks. He's stunned to realize this isn't a terror rabbit, but a creature with two exclusive traits. Sometime later, Lin Yuan pushes himself, pounding the pavement in a desperate bid for strength. But his body quickly betrays him, and he's forced to stop, gasping for air. He realizes that without spiritual energy to strengthen him, a combat career is just a fantasy. Just then, he's greeted by Auntie Zhang and the old man who saved him from the pig. Putting on a brave face, Lin Yuan insists he's just working on getting stronger, a classic fake-it-till-you-make-it approach. But his new power reveals the truth behind the old man's injury, a platinum-tier curse. He realizes the old man's power level must be astronomical to contain such a potent toxin. Lin Yuan understands his neighbor, Uncle Li, has been fighting this agonizing battle for years. He theorizes that the rabbit, like Uncle Li, is a powerful being hiding its true form to recover. He waves goodbye, putting on a brave face for his concerned neighbors. He thinks back on all their kindness, now determined to find a way to heal his savior. He returns to his apartment, his mind racing with new possibilities. His eyes fall on a simple plant, but its status screen reveals a shocking change. He realizes his spiritual energy wasn't leaking, but acting as a free power-up for his houseplants. He decides to test this new power on the wilting jasmine lily. He pours his energy into the plant, and its status screen reveals a miracle. The once worthless jasmine lily has evolved into an elite-grade creature, its value skyrocketing. Overjoyed, he rushes to wake his companions to share the incredible news. His companions gather, sensing the surge of power that flowed from their master. Genius strikes a pose, his new memory skill already dedicated to remembering more braised pork. Sound also feels the boost, now a normal grade 3 with an allegedly improved singing voice. Lin Yuan's eyes turn to dollar signs as he realizes he's found his cheat code to success. But the full weight of his discovery suddenly hits him. This is bigger than just getting rich. He recalls that evolving creatures is a rare and costly process, requiring creation masters. And even with vast resources, evolution is never guaranteed, only a slim probability. While others spend fortunes on materials, Lin Yuan can achieve the same results with his power alone. But he knows this godlike ability would make him a target for the greedy and powerful. He decides the only way forward is to hide his secret in plain sight by becoming a creation master. Just then, his thoughts are interrupted by sound, delivering an incoming call. He answers the phone to the worried voice of his younger sister, Little Sai. Lin Yuan puts on a brave face, assuring her that his health has greatly improved. But his attempt at reassurance has the complete opposite effect on the other end of the line. His sister panics, reminding him that his frail body can't handle any strenuous activity. He calmly brushes off her concerns, telling her to focus on her own promising future instead. Though still clearly worried, she quietly agrees, trusting her older brother's words. Her eyes burn with resolve as she makes a silent promise to her brother. The scene shifts to her school, where a critical life event is about to unfold. In the classroom, a teacher lectures on the delicate balance between a creature's power and its masters. She warns that choosing an incompatible partner can lead to disastrous consequences. Chusi listens intently, understanding that for a combat professional, this choice is everything. As the bell rings, the students file out, their futures hanging in the balance. But the teacher asks Chuchi to stay behind, a serious look on her face. She questions Chusi's decision, urging her not to waste her immense talent on a poor choice. Chusi lowers her head, torn between her own plans and her teacher's advice. Meanwhile, back at the apartment, a different kind of work has finally come to an end. With 3 more plants upgraded, Lin Yuan finally has hope for his sister's future. His phone rings with an unknown number, a potential customer at the perfect time. He answers cheerfully, ready to make his first big sale. But on the other end is his sister's teacher, and she is not happy. She reveals Chusi's plan to bond with a completely useless armored beetle. The teacher explains Chusi's rare talent is being wasted on a low-tier creature. Playing the part of a responsible guardian, he promises to send a better creature. The pressure is on as he realizes he needs to raise a fortune, and fast. The next day, he arrives at the market, ready to sell his creations. He's completely drained from the all-night power transfer, but he made it. He reminds himself to keep a low profile in the chaotic creature market. Genius pops out of his hood, insisting his bargaining skills are essential for the mission. They arrive at the bus stop, where a creature-powered bus confuses the history-buff cat. The driver cracks the reins, ready to get this strange new public transit moving. The beast of burden gallops forward, pulling the carriage with surprising speed. Lin Yuan grabs his flailing companion, who seems to be enjoying the ride a little too much. On board, the driver notes their destination, telling Lin Yuan he's picked a good day to shop. He reveals that a dimensional rift recently opened just outside the city. The elite Redbud guards were dispatched to contain the swarm of monsters that poured out. The rift appeared next to a breeding base, and now the survivors are selling off the injured stock. Lin Yuan finally understands how the pig from his near-death experience got loose. The driver boasts about his own pig hunt, while Lin Yuan sees a golden opportunity. They arrive at the market, a chaotic bazaar of spiritual creatures and potential profit. Genius, ever the business manager, asks for the plan, his eyes gleaming with dollar signs. But the reality of their financial situation hits them like a ton of bricks. Their only hope is to trade the plants he upgraded, but Genius fears they'll be cheated. As he browses, Lin Yuan discovers his new power lets him sense the auras of other creatures. He realizes he has a natural affinity for healing types, while his sister's is for defense. His thoughts are interrupted by a shout from across the market. It's Genius, already deep in a high-stakes negotiation with a very intimidating vendor. Lin Yuan smoothly apologizes for his overzealous cat's haggling attempts. But our boy has a plan, reminding his companion about the art of shopping around. His new power lets him analyze the creatures, but the first option is a slow, low-level turtle. Next up is a shy armadillo, which Genius quickly dismisses as useless for protecting his sister. With options dwindling, he wonders if his sister's original choice was the best after all. After searching the entire market, they finally find one last potential candidate. It's a pair of ramhorn sheep, not just elite grade, but perfect quality with rare skills. Lin Yuan immediately offers a staggering price, shocking the vendor with his enthusiasm. The vendor, clearly not used to customers who don't haggle, pauses to make a very important phone call. Genius scolds him for the terrible negotiation, but Lin Yuan's strategy is about more than just getting a low price. The vendor names his price, a staggering 120,000 coins, and he's not budging. With no other options, Lin Yuan steels himself, ready to pay whatever it takes for his sister. Just then, a commotion from another stall catches his attention. A butcher has sold out of meat. But the words injured beasts spark a brilliant, if slightly off-topic idea in Lin Yuan's mind. The butcher clarifies that the remaining creatures are for sale, not for dinner, a bargain for anyone willing to take them. He understands why they're cheap. Healing them would cost a fortune, a task for a creation master. He approaches the stall, not for meat, but for the creatures no one else wants. But he has a secret weapon, the Mobius ring, which he uses to project an aura of calm confidence. The butcher's aggressive demeanor melts away, replaced by a sudden, inexplicable friendliness. He's led to the back, where two massive spiders lie dying, their injuries severe and their time running out. His power reveals the spiders are elite grade, perfect quality, and incredibly valuable. The butcher confirms their value, a steal for anyone who can heal them. Lin Yuan makes his move, offering a trade instead of cash. But the vendor is hesitant, planning to start a new business from scratch. With a confident smile, he offers his secret weapon, weaponized salad. The butcher's interest is piqued, demanding to see the quality for himself. The vendor reveals his own prized creature, a wounded but epic quality rocky bull. Lin Yuan's eyes widen, realizing this is the perfect defensive creature for his sister. The vendor is surprised by his enthusiasm, but Lin Yuan sees only potential. He throws out an offer, his mind already calculating the next step in his plan. The vendor's eyes narrow, questioning if Lin Yuan has a creation master in his corner. He confirms the outrageous offer, all 3 creatures for a handful of radishes. Lin Yuan flashes a confident smile, promising his produce is worth the price. Convinced by the kid's sheer audacity, the vendor agrees and begins packing up his stall. He pulls out a Fey containment box, a piece of tech far beyond their budget. With a flick of his wrist, he activates the device, tossing it into the air. Genius watches in awe, reminding his master this is way out of their usual price range. A vortex of light pulls the massive bull into the tiny glowing cube. The cat presses against the box, amazed that the beast actually fit inside. The vendor sighs, mourning the bull's lost potential, a creature he believes will never recover. The vendor proudly displays his own creature, a bronze-grade lizard with some nasty-sounding skills. He boasts about his prized lizard, and Lin Yuan plays the part of an impressed customer perfectly. Our boy geeks out, recognizing the value of its exclusive trait and the chance to study it up close. The vendor is impressed by Lin Yuan's knowledge, realizing the kid is more than he seems. But his sales pitch is interrupted by an angry shout from a nearby stall. Turns out, summoning a giant fire lizard in a crowded market tends to scare the neighbors. With the deal done, the vendor offers them a ride home on his personal reptilian Uber. The creature takes off, its eyes glowing with power as it charges through the streets. Lin Yuan quickly discovers this particular mode of transport has zero regard for passenger safety. They arrive at their destination in record time, the lizard sniffing out the apartment. The vendor praises Lin Yuan's strong stomach, while Genius pays the price for their high-speed commute. He looks around the humble apartment, skeptical that a creation master would live in such a place. But as he scans the room, his expression of doubt begins to shift. His eyes lock onto the glowing plants, realizing they could only be the work of a master. Lin Yuan offers a clever half-truth, claiming he used energy ore to boost their growth. A quick inspection confirms their elite quality, the rich sap a sign of immense vitality. He flashes back to a time he was turned away, lacking the treasures needed to hire a creation master. He knows this connection to Lin Yuan is a golden opportunity he could never afford otherwise. Our boy snaps him out of it, ready to talk business now that the product has spoken for itself. The vendor makes a staggering offer, willing to buy in bulk if Lin Yuan can provide the supply. Genius's brain short-circuits as he tries to calculate their newfound theoretical fortune. But Lin Yuan plays it cool, calmly agreeing to the deal as if it's just another Tuesday. The vendor is completely convinced, believing our boy is a young master in disguise. He asks how long it will take to prepare such a massive order of high-quality goods. Lin Yuan confidently gives him a deadline of 7 days, a timeline he knows is pushing his absolute limit. Overcome with emotion, the vendor breaks down in tears, feeling like he's just won the lottery. The deal is sealed, and Lin Yuan even refuses a deposit, cementing his mysterious, wealthy persona. As the vendor rides off, our boy waves goodbye, ready for the truly exhausting work to begin. In the backyard, he stands before his first patient, the massive, wounded, rocky bull. His companions immediately start worrying about the grocery bill, but Lin Yuan has a one-track mind. First, he has to save it. With time running out, Lin Yuan channels his power into the dying creature. Golden energy flows from his palm, mending the bull's broken body. Seeing the slow progress, he decides to push his power to the absolute limit. He unleashes a brilliant surge of spiritual energy directly into the beast, but the bull reacts unexpectedly, erupting in a massive pillar of golden light. He realizes this isn't just healing, it's a full-blown evolution he can barely control. The sound of something shattering echoes from within the golden cocoon. The sheer force of the transformation throws him backward across the yard. As the light finally fades, he looks on, knowing he's somehow pulled it off. But the status screen reveals a shocking twist. The bull has evolved, but its quality has plummeted. But the status screen reveals another surprise. He gets to choose its new exclusive trait. He weighs his options, realizing 2 of the 3 traits are incredibly powerful. He immediately dismisses trekking, since stamina isn't a priority for a defensive creature. Scale Skin offers a solid defensive boost, but it's a fairly standard upgrade. But Pain Absorption is a game changer, turning damage into a source of healing. He makes his choice, creating a tank that actually gets stronger the more it gets hit. The combination of its skills and new trait creates the perfect defensive shield for his sister. He imagines no one will dare mess with her now, a thought that brings him great satisfaction. Genius's comment barely registers. For Lin Yuan, his sister's safety is the only thing that matters. Besides, he reminds his companion, he's already got one beast right here. He realizes the evolution wasn't just for the bull, it boosted his own spiritual power too. The stronger the creature he evolves, the greater the feedback, a fact Genius is learning the hard way. But with the hard part over, Genius raises a very good question. How do they mail a cow? Lin Yuan, ever the problem solver, reveals he's already ordered a high-speed flying delivery service. Meanwhile, far away at the Radiance Moon Palace, a different kind of delivery is underway. A mysterious woman and her attendant receive a vial of rare, glowing liquid. They add another strange ingredient, a piece of dark crystalline material. The vial is placed at the center of a complex magical array, pulsing with green light. With a single command, a drop of what looks like blood is sent flying toward the mixture. The resulting reaction unleashes a wave of power so immense, they're forced to defend themselves. We are introduced to the Moon Empress, a 5-star creation master of immense power. The city lord and a king-tier powerhouse named Saikong watch on, their hopes in her hands. Saikong summons his creature, a massive bear-like beast ready for its evolution. The Empress sends the potent mixture flying, a streak of red energy aimed at the beast. The creature convulses as the power takes hold, its body beginning to violently shift. She explains this isn't a simple level up, but a rare transformation into a fantasy species. Its features sharpen and change, a new, more powerful form emerging from the old. The beast roars, its transformation complete, now radiating an entirely different aura. The scene then cuts to a much smaller, fluffier, and decidedly more regal creature. It's the Moon Empress's own companion, a tiny rabbit who seems thoroughly unimpressed by the display. The newly evolved beast, for all its power, whimpers like a lost kitten. The Moon Empress criticizes the current system for finding new creation masters as far too slow. The city lord realizes she's proposing a radical change to the upcoming exams. She lays out a new rule. Exceptional candidates can now fast-track their advancement. With a determined nod, the city lord accepts his new orders. Her attendant questions the decision, pointing out the recent lack of promising talent. But the Empress reveals her true motive, a personal rivalry with other 5-star masters. The attendant is stunned. Turns out this whole reform is just a high-stakes talent show. She then turns her attention to a looming threat, ordering the city lord to secure the city's defenses. Meanwhile, under a stormy sky, a high-speed delivery service is already on its way. The delivery driver tries to reassure his passenger, who is currently regretting all his life choices. He mentions Genius, explaining the flight was too full to accommodate the very dramatic cat. We cut back to Genius's tearful farewell, demanding equal flying rights with sound. Lin Yuan forces a smile, trying to play it cool despite his churning stomach. The driver announces their arrival, telling him to brace himself for the view. Their winged transport glides through a stunning moonlit mountain pass. Awed by the incredible sight, Lin Yuan's motion sickness is instantly forgotten. But the experience triggers something deeper, as a powerful will rune begins to form in his mind.